Welcome to Sorare Assist. Today I'll be showing my progress on my limited card journey, and this is episode 7. I've actually won 2 rewards and also 2 new signings in this week's video. Before we get started today, welcome all new returning managers to my channel. Videos are every Wednesday and Friday, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to be the first to be alerted about any new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and Reddit, and for more Sorare resources, check out SorareAssist.com. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free limited card and 13 common cards. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video, then drop them in the comment section below. Right, now that's out of the way, let's get into today's content. So as usual in this weekly series, I will start off with my SO5 results from the last couple of game weeks. So game week 209, there wasn't actually any eligible players that I had in my limited collection that had a fixture that week, so I wasn't able to participate in any of the tournaments. Game week 210 though was a different story. And I did get some respectable finishes in the limited tournaments, but also had some not so good finishes as well. So we'll start with go from the lowest to the top. So the All-Star Limited, I ended up with 289 points, 50 points from Halhauser, a quiet game again from Nani. New signing and captain did fantastic. Johnny Russell, 72 points. He was actually a reward that I won a few weeks back now. Kai Wagner got a fantastic 72 points. He's a regular performer, this guy. And Patamis had a disappointing 22. So on the surface, these two scores were absolutely fantastic. Nani's score was disappointing, but I do expect him to do better. And Patamis had a very disappointing score. I think he actually got an own goal in that game. That's perhaps why he's got such a low score there. So that's obviously dented my score overall. Now in the Challenger Europe Limited, Romo had a bit of a quieter game, 29 points. But they did have a difficult fixture that week, I believe. Yet there was away to Standard Liège, so that was a difficult game. Captain Biguez got 51, lower score for him this week. Bit disappointing there, but is a fantastic player nevertheless. Again, my other copy of Halhauser got 50. Lindell got 37, with Wolfsberger still struggling in terms of form. And new signing from last week's video, Klassen, got a fantastic 66 points. Now that is fantastic because he actually come off the bench. This is a very good player, got a bright future by the looks of things, and he's only 21 as well. So pretty decent scores there, some decent scores, but pretty average overall really, and that's why 259 only got me a 923rd finish. In terms of the Asia, I did well in this one really. 276, which was 154 finish. 76 from Kaneko, which was quite a recent signing. 26 from Ilyushenko, disappointing, but he's more of a sub at the minute. Captain Bitgaram got me a fantastic 69, he's a fantastic player. Ohate got 34 and Park Jigyu also got 41. Obviously these play for the same team, second to Sue. Not keeping a clean sheet clearly affected the scores here. But this 154th place did get me a reward. Only a tier 3 reward, and that reward was Park Hanbin. And to be honest, is going to be going straight in the bin. that is the listings bin, of course. So here's one that I'm going to look to sell. I've looked at his stats, I've looked at his scores. Nothing impressive there to see, unfortunately, for Park and Bin. So I will be selling him as soon as possible. So in terms of the America Limited, I finished 127th with a fantastic score of 334. So Maxim Morales got 60. Brad Guzan had another fantastic game, 74 points. 43 for Nani, again another disappointing week for Nani, but he will come good soon. 61 for Captain Hernandez and 62 for Jack Elliott. So a few scores in the 60s there, very good, very good. And if Nani could have maybe got done a bit of a better game there, it could have been a higher position. But the 127th place and 334 points did get me a tier 3 limited card, and that was Luis Reyes of Atlas. Atlas are of course going through quite a decent run of form at the minute, and Reyes' stats didn't look too bad, but considering Atlas are in a good run of form, his scores don't look that fantastic, so when they come out of this good run of form, I imagine his scores are going to get even worse. So it's one that I am looking to list. In fact, it's already listed, as you can see here, £5.60, 0.002 ETH. So here's one that I'm looking to get rid of there, unfortunately. But still, it was 2 rewards. The money from those sales will hopefully go to my kitty to potentially get some more cards that I'm in need of. Okay then, so in terms of purchases and sales then. So in terms of the purchases, I've made 2 purchases since the last episode, and they are both Champion Europe players. And as you can see, they were both playing for Seville as well. Now I didn't do that on purpose for the purpose of stacks. I didn't really do that on purpose. It's just sort of happened because I did see these players on the market, and I thought the prices looked very cheap for the type of players they are. Papu Gomez, Argentinian international, he is getting minutes for them. And for Seville, he's actually got a contract until 2024. Even though he is 33 now, he's still a fantastic player, a fantastic scorer on Sorare, and also plays for a very, very good club who seem to be on the up lately. So he was a cool £27. I also purchased Idrissi. Now this guy has been on the back of my mind for quite some time, and is one that I've been after buying for a while now. He was injured for quite some time, and that's when I did first look at his price, and it was quite a cheap price at the time. Didn't buy him at that point, but now he has gone back to Seville because he was on loan to AZ, I believe, in the Dutch league. But he is back at Seville now. Doesn't seem to be getting that many games at the moment for Seville. He's been on the bench, but not really getting into the side, which is unfortunate. But he is only 25. This guy is a fantastic talent, and he has got a lot of potential. So he is still fairly young, and I managed to pick him up for only £8, which is absolutely brilliant. So I've now got a potential forward in my Champion Europe team when he does start playing, or a potential backup option. But if you look at the stats of Idrissi in terms of his SO5 scores and his raw stats, so passing numbers, crosses, key passes, all the important things you need to look for in a player, this guy is going to score fantastic when he does start to play. And I can't imagine he's going to stay at Seville if he's not getting game time. I expect him to potentially get away, so move somewhere else. So I expect this price of £8 to increase in the medium to long term. So I'm happy to purchase him at just £8, and it gets my Champion Europe side up and running as well. So total cost of these 2 players was £35. So in terms of sales, no sales unfortunately. I've not been able to get rid of any of the players that I don't want so far, but it's not the end of the world. I'm sure they'll eventually sell. So in terms of squad updates then, so the Global All-Star is the same. £228 is the cost of this team. Still got a couple of players on the shortlist who are extremely high at the moment, but I could potentially play Idrissi in this slot if he does start playing, and obviously any other forwards I've got in my overall collection as well in the time being. And I'll potentially start looking at other shortlist targets as well, as opposed to these 2. Although I may be prepared to pay Gill's current price, as it's not as inflated as Beguis, which at the moment seems to be going for around £500. But very happy with this team so far. Nani, as I say, is going to come good soon. And Fukumori is actually now back. He has been injured for a number of weeks, but he is back now, and I expect him to get me some fantastic scores. Champion Asia, £480 is the total cost. As I say, Fukumori is back. Hatate is a fantastic talent. The bonus with the Hatate card is that it's actually a defender on the limited cards only. In the rares, he's a forward still. But the fact of the matter is, he's actually playing more upfield now in an attacking midfield position. So for him to be classified as a defender for a fantastic team, he's also going to be getting the clean sheet bonus, of course. And this looks a fantastic card to purchase. I purchased him a few weeks back for £17. Kaneko is a new signing, fantastic player, only 23. And Cecina is another fantastic signing that I picked up a few weeks back. Not being able to play him yet because he's not had any fixtures, but I'm looking forward to getting him into one of my teams. And as you can see, I've got quite a few reserves in this region as well, which I may potentially look to sell at the start of the next season. So I don't want to be selling them now because they're potentially going to be going down in price with the Asian leagues finishing shortly. Champion America, 221 spent. A fantastic lineup here. Again, Nani is the current weakest link, but I expect him to improve on his form. And Gil is also a long-term target for this Champion America team as well. And I've of course got Blanco in the reserves, which is a fantastic player. Jack Elliott, which gives me a potential stacking option with Wagner. Hernandez as well as a potential forward for Johnny Russell, or even put into my Global All-Star team. And I've got a young player here that I won as an award, who does look to have decent stats, and that is a 4. So, fantastic team there. That team is pretty much complete. Challenger Europe, £461 spent. Couple of reserves here, reserve defenders, Klassen and Meccano. Brulls I'm going to look to sell. Bergwis is fantastic, I always knew he was, and I picked him up for a cool £112. I think that was about a month ago, something like that, maybe 6 weeks ago I picked him up at the very start of these videos. Hallhauser was a bargain at 110, I expect his form to improve. I'm hoping Lidl can improve his form as well with Wolfsberger. They have been having a bit of a hard time in the Austrian league. Senesi was a fantastic reward and is a fantastic player, and Romo is also a fantastic goalie as well. So very happy with this team. I will maybe look to get some more reserves potentially in the future, but my focus is on trying to get some Champion Europe players now, which we'll move on to now. So here's the Champion Europe side. So 2 signings that I've already mentioned, Idrissi and Gomez. And as you can see, I still need a few players in this team at the moment, which I'm hoping to fund from rewards that I win and an ETH as well from the Global All-Star Division 4. So this is coming along now. These are the first signings for this team. I was holding off on the Champion Europe because the cards were a little bit more expensive. So I was looking to build the teams in the other regions first, then hopefully win some rewards to start funding this team, which has now started. Under 23 is another one where I'm just going to hopefully win rewards. I have of course got a couple of young players now that could slot in this team, but it's the goalkeeper that's obviously going to be the big expense. Same with the Champion Europe really. So I've not got a full team in this region yet, but one that I'll be hoping to win in the rewards. So let's move on now to the profit and loss. So what I'm going to do is share my full collection first. Now you will see numbers under each player of my full limited collection, and those numbers are the 1 month average value of that card that it's sold for. Okay, I'll also give an overall total 1 month average value of my Sorare collection, the limited card collection only, based on the Sorare data 1 month average selling price. So here is my total limited collection at the moment. As you can see, I've got quite a few cards now that I've collected over the last 7 weeks since I started this video series. And all the numbers, as I say, is the 1 month average selling price of those players, which I update every week on this weekly series. So the total 1 month average value of all these values added together is £2,344. So this value is going to enable me to get a rough idea of what my profit and loss is, which I'm going to go on to right now. So here it is then. This is the profit and loss calculations. So these are the costs of the total of the teams that I've gone through so far. So the 228 Global All-Star, 35 Champion Europe, 462 Challenger Europe, £480 in the Asia, 221 in the America, 0 in the under 23 so far. So the total cost that I've spent is £1,426. This number here is from ETH rewards or limited card sales, and that value at the moment is just £97. So the total value of limited card collection, which was on the previous slide, is £2,344. That's value is based on the 1 month average price. And figures, total cost, which is this number here, ETH wins and sales, which is 97, this one here, and the value of the limited card collection. So Taking that number away from these two positives gives me a total profit of £1,015, which that has occurred in 7 weeks, which is absolutely fantastic. So last week's video profit and loss was actually 748, so that has actually gone up, which is fantastic considering I've made 2 new purchases. But some of the players' values in my collection have actually gone up since the last video, especially Stephen Begwus, who is valued at over £500 now, and I purchased him for 113. So that was a fantastic signing. So let's move on now to my potential team for the upcoming game week at the time of recording. So here we are then on the new competition screen. It's going to make it easy for me to filter to the lineups, because I can just click on the limited now. But in terms of this layout, I don't know what you guys' opinion is, but I don't really like it at the moment, and I'm hoping this is something that is a work in progress, because it doesn't look that visually appealing to me. And the graphics, I'm not really convinced about them. I do prefer the old ones, but we'll see what they do. I'm sure they're going to make some improvements to this page. So let's just have a look at my teams then for the upcoming game week. So I've got a team in the Challenger Europe, and this is the team that I've got lined up for that week. And these are the fixtures here as well, of course. So there's actually some difficult fixtures that my players have got this week, because Bergus is actually at home to PSV. Hallhauser is away to Anderlecht, and the other 3, and Romo, Saseni and Lidl look like they have a little bit of easier fixtures there. So that team is the one that I've got lined up for the upcoming game week in the Challenger Europe. So the other team that I've got as well is an Asia lineup as well selected. I've got Park Young in goal. Fukumori, who's back now from his injury, he's at home to Avispa Fukuoka. So I think that's going to be a good game and a winnable game, definitely for them. Murillo is at home to Gangju, and this is the first time that I'm going to be able to play Cecina, so I'm looking forward to that. And they're playing the Suwon Blue Wings. So he's down as my captain. And I've also got another player that I've not played yet, and that is Demao of Kawasaki. They're at home to Shimizu S-Pulse. On paper, this team looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get a very decent score from this team. In terms of the All-Star, in this division, I've gone for Patemis in goal. Gone for Captain Hatate. Again, they're at home to S-Pulse. And Kai Wagner in defence as well for Philadelphia at home to Nashville. Pau Gomez has gone in this side for this week, because they have got quite an easy fixture at home to Levante. As you can see, he's had a couple of not plays, but that's because he was on international duty with Argentina. But I believe he is back now, and hopefully injury free. But I will check the team news nearer the time to submitting my team before the deadline. And I've got as well Johnny Russell up front away to Seattle. So some good teams there. They're the teams that I managed to put out for the upcoming game week. So I'm looking forward to hopefully sharing some good results with you guys in next week's video. But that's it for this week anyway. But like I said, don't forget the next episode is on Friday, so make sure you subscribe to see how I get on. If you have any thoughts on today's video, then drop them in the comments section below. If you liked this video, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to be first alerted about any new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and Reddit, and for more Sorare resources, check out SorareAssist.com. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free limited card and 13 common cards. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video, then drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.